My name is John, and welcome to Gearhead, a YouTube channel by a gearhead, for gearheads, working on junk with $0 as a budget. Let's try this. Welcome back to the channel. Trying to do a little bit of content building here, and it occurred to me that my old impact driver has seen better days. You know, it's a construction grade impact from Dewalt, and I've had it for the better part of 10 years, so it's not that bad considering, but stuff's just falling apart. It's definitely seen better times. So it occurred to me, well, maybe it's time to replace it. But before you go ahead and replace your impact, works perfectly well. You know, you got this thing, paid 100 and some bucks for it. Still works, nothing wrong with it. Functions just as it should. There's always the option to replace that housing. This housing has a handful of screws on it. Pop it apart there, got one there, there. It's not that big of a deal. So I did some digging and I found this gem. That is a genuine Dewalt handle, sand stickers, but it comes like this. All you got to do, swap your, or pull your handles out. This belt clip, I already swapped off that. I got a little bit ahead of the gun with that, but that's it. That's pretty simple, pretty cut and dried. So I thought, why not make a quick video about it? Simple process. I will make one note that this hole right here, I had to drill out to be able to get my long Torx bit in there and to get that apart. It's a T10 Torx. Nothing too exciting there, but I did have to do that. And then likewise, I had to drill this hole out, and I chose to use like a this just 1964 or something like that. Something was just big enough to fit that in there. I tested it on the old housing to make sure I wasn't going to compromise it and burn through the plastic. As you can see, it's pretty thick. It's got quite a bit of room, so it didn't hurt anything to do that. Once I get done, I'll take a razor and kind of clean off them burrs, but for now, it's good enough. So let's get started. All right, so here we go. Usually, I would use my impact to run a bit like a socket bit like this, but I don't have it, so I got my handy dandy Mac impact, or excuse me, my Mac drill, which is made by DeWalt, and it accepts all DeWalt batteries. So that's awful handy. It means I can use my, DeWalt tools and my Mac tools. I can share batteries. And let's be completely honest, the DeWalt stuff doesn't handle the oil as well. This isn't nearly as old, but this rubber is not oil resistant. Mac advertises that their rubber grips are oil resistant. And after a couple of years of use, this has held up pretty well. So I'm pretty impressed. And they must not be feeding this a line because, well, it's been oily. Having said that, DeWalt batteries versus Mac batteries, I don't know if there's actually any difference. This is a Mac battery, just a 2 amp hour slim battery. And this is an older, well, I don't even know what, 3 amp hour? Yeah, 3 amp hour battery that I've had for years. Actually came with this when I bought this new. So this is probably around 10 years old, holds a charge well, no issues. So moving on, I have not done this before. I've never taken one of these apart. So we're all starting from scratch. We're gonna do this together. Let's go ahead and start. Let's spin out all these screws. Two in there, they're kind of hidden underneath the junk rubber. One up there. One up there. Okay, so get that out of the way. All these screws, it would appear they're all the same length. So it must not make much difference where they go. Take your handy little pocket screwdriver and try and peel that out. I'm gonna make a liar out of me, can't do that. All right, here we go. Okay, that's out. Screws out of the way. we can move on. Now, I'm just going to peel this off there as much as I can to get it out of the way so I can see in the brake of the machine, or the tool as I pull it apart. That way I don't lose anything. Like I said, never done this before. I have no idea what I'm doing. So let's go ahead and pop that apart. Cautiously as we can. We'll use our little screwdriver to maybe help it along the way. You can kind of see the back end of the anvil there and where the motor is. Go ahead and pop that off. Make an attempt. There we go. So there's the inside of the impact. You can tell it's seen better days. It's all grimy. This stuff is, and there's some dust in there. You know, this is not a brushless. This is a DCF885 cordless, impact driver. It's a, I guess you could call it a cheaper one, but it is 20 volt. Comes in your drill driver combo kit. So that's done. We got that there. Good deal. Now you can see here how dirty everything is. I do have an air compressor. I probably will blow this stuff out, but I'm not going to worry about it this very second because, well, we're making a video. So we can start by carefully pulling the base, or the charging base, out with the trigger group, and we'll try and slip the motor out with it. I could just flop this over and dump it out, but I don't really want to do that and just kind of all willy-nilly, haphazardly dump it on the table and lose something or misplace something in the process. But there we have it. Now there is a bearing on the back here that was actually in good shape. That will sit back here in the back of the housing. There's a little groove back there. And again, comparison says it all. It's just dirty. There's nothing wrong with it physically. This thing has taken some serious falls. We're talking 15+ foot falls, and it's together. There's nothing actually wrong with it. So we really don't have anything to complain about. It's lasted. I'm happy. So, new body. We did almost try and lose our selector here. See, our selector goes on that little notch. Sits in there. Got our hole here, it's got to go in. Carefully get that in there while I shake like crazy. Get our, there's several notches back here where that charging base slides in, but it's pretty easy to see. You want that to be sitting flush or just above that, so it's on that bottom groove. There's kind of some alignment to do there. Nothing crazy. Get that to sit down just like so, looking great. Our reverser button is in place. Kind of flip that over without losing it. Slide that in there. Make sure everything's nice and tight. We got some wiring to tuck into this groove here. Nothing too exciting. I think that would be for our LEDs if I would not be mistaken. Push that in there. Just tuck that down in there real nice so it doesn't get pinched when we put the housing back together. Okay, wonderful. Alright, so that's in there. Happy-go-lucky, whatever, yeehaw. So next we got to slide our components of our motor in there. You can see there are some more grooves, and I kind of didn't get it stuck in there right away. So we'll kind of carefully lift that up. Slide her down in there. Now you hear it kind of lay into that slot. Everything's kind of snapping in where it's supposed to go. This is, I mean, it's as easy as I anticipated it to be. Everything looks good. It's seated. Our button's all the way out. The trigger's where it's supposed to be. Wonderful. Now, you'll make note that this front cover does not come with it. This is part of your anvil assembly. I don't know if you can get this separate. I haven't looked into it. Maybe I can get a follow-up on that before I get this video posted. We'll see how smart I am, if I can remember that. There is a little bit of a flat spot on the top and bottom of your motor armature. I'm going to try and just line that up, 90 degrees to that face. best I can. So now we can go ahead and slide our cover back on. If you have everything lined up properly, it's just going to snap together. So make sure this is all kind of clipping in there. And once we get that lined up, if we can get it lined up, something ain't quite happy. Go ahead and pop this back off. Take a quick look, see here. Make sure our wiring is tucked. That's down in there, that's in there, that's there. We'll scrape a little bit of this dirt off there just for intelligence sake. Okay, that's in there. Wiring's tucked in there. Let's give her another go. Put that down in there. It's all clipping together nicely for the most part. Maybe this is why we leave it to the professionals. I just ain't having the best luck. Let's try the no-no. Get our drill with our T10 on it. So here's a little bit of a gap. We're gonna try. There we go. It just needs a little help. All right. So let's lick it and stick it. Now you'll notice this gun, like I said, it's a perfectly functioning order. There's nothing wrong with it. So we're just swapping the body out. This is only taking, you know, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. So it's really not a super complex process. If you ever have a bad connector for your charging receiver, you have a trigger group that ends up being faulty where it doesn't maybe, you know, that doesn't spin your gun. You can see how easy it is to get into these things. Now I'm not going to say everybody go ahead and tear apart your stuff because, you know, it's maybe not the best idea, but here we are. We're back together. Door going on there. I messed up something. So, it stinks. I must have something bound up in there. Yeah, you can see it smoking a little bit. So, well, back apart she comes. Epic fail. That's why we be careful while we're doing stuff, folks. Just gotta be careful. I'm sure I won't edit that out. So, let's check it out. Our armature's a little bit toasty. Everything seems to spin like it ought to. So I'll do this. Semi-educational. In our direction. See, something is just not quite happy with that. I'm not really sure what we got going on. What do we got going on here? Maybe I'll let the magic out of it, folks. All right, let's get this whole groove out. Get the battery off her. Pop the armature back out. Get in there. Our reverser button's a little bit snug in that housing, but yet again, I did not clean any of this. This is just trying to make a quick video. So we'll get a rag. Clean this feller up. It's ready to go back together. Now, I don't recommend this either, so don't look. Slide our battery on there. Our reverser is selected. Oh, that's what we're doing. That's where we got a little problem right there. Well, you'll notice maybe that I got a little bit rammy. It's our brushes for our motor. they popped off because I wasn't paying much attention. I wasn't being careful. Totally on me. So, see if we can't do this one-handedly. This is a little bit toasty because I was fiddling with it, pushing buttons. Alright, these spring-loaded brushes, pop them open. It's the exact same setup as what's on a starter, basically. Now our brushes are back over armature. That actually looks pretty good. You could go ahead and clean that up, polish it up, whatever you want to do with it realistically. See, our bearing spins really nice and free. But we got we need that to spin free. That's what our problem is. Oh, I see what I did. Okay, so now that I know what I've done wrong, see those flats? There are bars right here on either side of the housing that locate that. Now, I messed up. Never claimed to be very intelligent. So, here, let's pop them back in there again real quick. Armature brushes. Got your gearing. You could probably lube this up if you were an intelligent fella, but we're not going to get carried away with being intelligent today. Now I'm going to go ahead and drop the motor and hammer assembly back into the housing. That looks good. Now that's kind of spinning in there. Get our reverser in here. I don't know if these are the correct terms either. Don't go by me. I'm just using terms that seem technically correct in my mind. I'm just a nobody. I'm not an engineer that gets paid 6 figures to be dumb. I mean smart. I'm sure not all engineers are idiots. Alright, so that's in there. Snap, bang, boom, Bob's your uncle. We'll get her done. Now I bet, look at how nice that goes together. Oh man. Now before I even put screws in it, oh baby, would you look at that. Hit that reverse. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, it's almost like I know what I'm doing. So screw it back together and this baby is home free. Now this is a good learning experience for everybody. I look like an idiot. You don't have to. So go ahead, give it a whirl sometime. If you really think you're confident in a simple, you know, replacement of a couple screws and transferring components over nice and cautiously, then I recommend this to anybody. But if you're not totally, you know, confident in yourself and your abilities, then don't. They're not expensive to have someone go through and rebuild. Usually, and I say usually lightly, you can have these impacts, drills, all sorts of them tools can be rebuilt cheaper than what you can replace them for. But that's not always the case, as I have been in a position before where I have replaced or had to replace an impact because there was enough wear and tear that it did not make sense to repair it. You know what I mean? There was enough damage. So anyhow, enough of the rambling. That's it. Old impact made new again, and for stupid cheap. I got this impact housing, the handle, off the Amazons for about $10. Now, this impact new was over 100. And like I said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm not gonna say that, you know, you can't replace it, because I might buy another one anyways. I got a bit of a problem with tools. But you can do it cheap. You know, somebody wanting to do some work like this on a budget, try and keep your tools going, take this stuff, throw it away. Don't need that anymore. We got a brand new impact. And that's all I got for you. So stick around, come back later, check some more videos. I'm gonna do my best to get this channel up and going off the ground. Even though I'm not good at editing, we'll try and get this together. One day maybe I'll get somebody to help me figure out how to make videos look cool. And then maybe your boy will be on the level of Cletus McFarland. Probably not, but a guy can wish. So check back. Thanks for stopping by. we'll catch you guys later.